How would you describe your sound?
My sound, probably more like country rock, because I have a lot of influences in I would say kind of southern rock type, um, that genre, because that's what I like to listen to. So I would say it's kind of like if I had to pick what I always wrote, it would be like country rock. Yeah. And then I also have some things that are more fun, kind of pop country. So that would be how I describe my sound.
Who are some of your musical influences?
If you go all the way back to the 70s, like Dolly Parton, Janis Joplin, if you do 80s, more like, I would say bands, like hair bands, like,
Yeah, hair metal.
yeah. I mean, kind of everybody, but like, I would say Prince is, I used to love listening to Prince and watching him perform, on TV, obviously, because I never got to go to a concert and then he passed. Reba, Carrie Underwood, Garth Brooks, anybody who's really, I would say, big on stage would be like a stage influence. And then vocally, looking at, Adele, Whitney Houston vocally, because I'm a power vocalist. So, I hit those notes and that's what I'm described as, a power vocalist. Does that make sense? I don't know. So they're kind of all over the place. Yeah. And in writing, because I've always, loved music. I pull from everywhere because I like all different kinds of genres. So I'm not like just, I only love country and everything else is crap. Like, no, you go through it. I was, in the 70s, it was Little River Band. It was, in the 80s, Styx. And then I moved into like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, and then some R&B, Salt and Pepper, some rap. Yeah. So it was a little of everything all the way growing up. So I kind of pull just whatever I think other people would like and try to create that sound. And then, so if I always say like, who would I be in my influence, it's going to be a little of everybody. It's a little of everybody. So, yeah.
Well, I'm really loving your song, Givin a Damn, Don't Go With My Outfit. The title is, I think, very perfect and
Awesome.
very telling. Talk about the message behind it and creating the song.
Well, so that particular song idea came from a t-shirt. And so I saw it and I was like, that would be a cool song to write. And my writers were like, yeah, we should totally write that song, but we had to change the word because it was the F word. And so, and then we just started talking about like, what would that mean? Like what message, like, how do we get there? Cause you can have a great song title, but what is my story with it? How am I getting to that song title? How am I getting to that hook? And I just talked about, I was like, I live in this small town, and let me tell you why I don't like living in a small town, because everybody knows their business. Everybody's trying to tell you how to live your life, or they don't approve of this, they don't approve of that. And I think that's even in big towns too. It's just the circles you live in or that you are in. So I think it translates into, people are able to identify it with it regardless of, anything. I think we've all experienced those hypocritical type that want to tell you how to live your life and have an opinion about what you do. And I was like, that's why we started it out. Small town people talking, not sure what they're saying, but word habits has it, I'm not their favorite. I'm the one they're talking about. And so it's just basically turning your nose up and going, I don't care. I'm doing me, so giving a damn don't go with what I wear. I'm just going to wear what I'm going to wear. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm going about my metaphorically and, physically, however you want to look at it. So judge me. I don't care.
You're a part of social media, and I'm sure you've been getting plenty of fan feedback to the song. What kind of responses have you been receiving?
Oh, they love it. I always get like, that girl, that is my song, that's my jam, and I'm like, well, good, there's merch out there you can buy. This is Givin a Damn Don't Go With My Outfit that we had designed. So I think that a lot of people, when they have that just I'm sick of people kind of attitude, and they're sick of just people judging them, that's their go-to. People that know of the song, obviously it's not commercialized out there with big labels yet, but maybe one day we get enough people listening that'll get out there and everybody be like, that's my jam, and that's what I want people to be able to identify with it and have something that when they're having that day that they're just, like feeling it, like being everybody's coming down on me, just to put that in and jam to like, what, I don't care, because I'm gonna do me anyway. And that's what I want people to get out of it, is that empowerment of do you.
Absolutely. I think it resonates so well with everyone. So I'm pretty sure that the response you're receiving would be the same whether you are on a big label or a indie label. You know, this is a great song that resonates, I think, with a lot of people.
Right. Just trying to get it out there more so everybody hears it. But, being an
Right.
indie artist is a little harder. So, you got to dig a little further to get to those great songs like that, or maybe a bigger artist will pick it up someday. I don't know. That would be great. But I don't have to do the work. I've already done it.
What's your songwriting process? Do you need to have music before you can come up with lyrics?
No, so for me, I have co-writers that I write with, and I keep in my phone. I keep basically ideas, song ideas, titles. I work in a bar. I'm a house musician at a bar, and so and when my band's not playing somewhere else, that's what I do on the weekends, is I play and sing, and so I'm always watching what's going on. You can find a lot of inspiration in the bar atmosphere. And so that's what I try to do. So I come with ideas and we get together and we say, what are we writing today? Well, two of the main co-writers that I write with is Scott Barrier and Dave Linehan. And you'll see, and Melissa Lee is on some of my stuff coming out. She helped write Givin a Damn, Don't Go Mouth along with Dave Linehan. But Scott and Dave are who I'm writing with currently quite a bit. And it basically, we get on the Zoom, and since I'm the artist, they're like, what are we writing today? And I'm like, well, let me tell you what I got going on. Or we'll just kind of kick around ideas like, well, what do you got on your plate today? What's on your mind? What great lines have you come up with? And how can we form that into a song? And so we sit and we just talk about whatever resonates. So like if I go through my phone, I'll list off, here's what I've got for this week. I've written down this title. And I said, just stop me when something hits something that you got. And that's kind of how it starts. And so we just wrote a song last week called Last Tequila Night. And that was actually not my idea. That one was Scott's idea. And then Dave had another thing off of it. And then I had it. And then we just kind of bounce and we open a Google form and we just write. We basically just brainstorm and write just whatever, as we're talking about it, everybody's typing on this form. And then we go, okay, what story are we going with? And then we go back and we look at what we have as we're talking, we go, let's form it into this story. And how can I relate that as an artist in things that I see, things that I observe, things that hit me? And so that's kind of how this last song formed. And then usually Scott or Dave will sit there with the guitar and we go, okay, well, what kind of sound do we want? And so then we start just, he starts playing and he goes, well, what about this? We just kick it off each other. And then before you know it, we have a song. Yeah, it's kind of, some people's processes are different, but that's been our process. And we've written, usually we can finish a song in like one session. So about 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Complete first to beginning to end, bridge, everything, sound, melody. They're truly great to write with. And they're fun.
How much of a say then do you have when it comes to the production side of your music?
Depending on who I'm working with. So I've been working with Off the Row Studios in Franklin, Tennessee, where outside of Nashville. They've done my last, I guess I did 11 songs with them. So they did my last album. And then I have a few more coming out that I've already recorded that were just like, I've got another song coming out early next month, called One Too Many. And that one was done there as well. Generally, we have a work tape. And so I say, this is the feel I want. And the studio musicians will basically come up with it off of what I did on the work tape. And it's usually better than what I could have imagined. Some of my projects going forward, and that's how it's been in the last year and a half. Some of my projects going forward, I want, I think, more hands-on in the production of it. I want to be able to direct more of some of the sound. I like what's come out so far, so I want to use the same people, but I want to be able to say, I want a little bit more this way or a little bit more that way. Right now, I've kind of depended on my producer to do a lot of it, and then I just give a little input. But I'm going to start giving more input. But yeah, I want to do like half and half. I want their expertise, but I want more of my voice in it, more of my opinion in it, which they allow me to. I'm an independent artist, so I don't work for a label, But sometimes you butt heads with your producer. They have their own ideas, and I'm like, yeah, but it's my song. I wrote it.
Just saying.
Just saying, you're getting paid. Yeah. So, and I think there's a fine line. Everybody and I actually have had this conversation with another producer that's a good friend of mine. We were talking about that, because you have people that do mixing and people that do mastering. And, like, I feel like my art, my voice, my writing, needs to go a certain way. And he does producing. He's also an artist. And he goes, yeah, but I've talked to several that they feel like that's their art. Their art is the production. Their art is the mixing. Their
That's
art.
fair.
And I'm like, well, and it depends. And things I've been reading have been basically saying that's something that needs to be established up front. So if your producer is going to get royalties on your music, then sure, you need to have input. But if I'm paying you to do it, it's all me. Yeah, I'm paying you to produce it to make sure these people are doing what they're supposed to do. But if it's music for hire, as they call it, music, if you're doing it for hire, I'm paying you a fee. Then you have to ultimately, if you want to keep getting artists coming back to you, you're going to have to
please them.
Right. And if you don't want to budge, then you won't be getting those artists back, and that's it.
Right.
I think it's that fine line, whereas I have an art that I want put forward and I want input. And then I have a producer. Sometimes it's like, I don't like that. And I'm like, I don't care. Actually, he's never said that. I'm just giving an example. He usually likes what I do. He's just like, that sounds good. And I'm like, yes. And then we go back and forth on the mix, and he's usually not happy with me about that because I'm like, I like this a little louder and this a little louder. And he's like, I'm sure he's rolling his eyes.
He will when he hears this, at least.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much still. Yeah, but we have a loving relationship. I told him, I said, I want to go forward with you. So there we go. That's a good sign.
All right. That's right. Then that you have a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
You've mentioned some singles coming out. Can we expect an album or maybe an EP coming from you in the future?
Well, so I just released Give It a Damn, Don't Go With My Outfit album in December. So we're working on the next album. So what I generally do is I release singles. I release them as singles first, and then I compile them into an album. And the reason being, it's very, and like I said, I'll tell you, because a lot of people just release the album. But I'm like, if you look at it on an independent musician level, if I only release albums, then you're getting all my songs at one time. And then you have to wait 2 years for another album to come out. Right. So, but if you get a song and release it, and then you're always current. It doesn't look like you've done nothing for 2 years.
Right.
So that's kind of been, especially with now, if we were back in the olden days where everybody looked forward to the album coming out, not a problem. But now we're in the digital era, and you always have to have something new. And so the best way to do that, and the most affordable way to do that, is to do, 4 songs or whatever at a time. Get in there and track those, and then put them out one at a time so that you're relevant. Hey guys, I got a new song coming out. And then 2.5 months later, I got another song coming out. So they always know to look forward to another song. What else do you have? What else do you have? So leave them wanting a little more. And then at the end of it, all my people, when I go to shows, are like, well, where's the album? I want to buy the CD. And I'm like, well, you got to wait till I got 8 songs together, and then I'll press it in a CD and you can buy it. So that's what I did this last time. And then we re-released it on digital media, digital streaming platforms as an album. So they all came out as singles and then re-released as an album. So you can purchase the entire album for $9.99 or whatever Apple Music charges or whatever.
Spotify and such. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get it as a single or as an album, which is, it allows you to market yourself as an independent artist a lot longer and more frequently so that you're not forgotten.
Where are some of your favorite places to perform then your music?
Well, specifically my music, I love doing like festivals and,
Arkansas.
Arkansas right now. We're looking at some dates in Colorado. So we're hoping to go that way, but we'll see. I don't know what this year's holding so far. I'm working on that. But right now I'm, like I said, I'm a house player in Little Rock at Willie D. So I'm a dueling piano player by trade. And then I have my independent stuff. And so when our band is able to, play, we play, and so wherever that takes us. But we have been offered, a trip over to Ouray, Colorado. head that way. So when we start setting that date, then I'll start trying to get places on the way to play, to tour, then come back. So we may be gone a couple of weeks on that. So for my independent music now, covers and, dueling piano stuff, I do military tours, which I leave in March to go to Alaska and Hawaii.
Very cool.
Yeah, to the different military bases. And then I leave for the Norwegian cruise line in June for 5 weeks. So I'll be in the Baltic. So wow. Denmark, Sweden, Germany, up there. Yeah. So it's fun. I get to do that stuff too.
Is there someone you'd love to collaborate, sort of a dream artist you'd love to work with in the future?
Yeah, I think I would love, like, one of my favorite artists now, and I love her writing, which is Ashley McBride. I love her writing, and she's from Arkansas. So, I would love to collaborate with her and write with her someday. That would be great. Maybe Reba too. She's like maybe Dolly. If we're going big,
Yes, if we're going big, you got to go all the way, right?
Yeah. Dolly's obviously a great songwriter. Reba as well. I think, I have a friend that has written for her.
Wow.
So, yeah. So anybody like that is big.
Well, what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful music that you do make?
I would obviously say thank you, and to keep listening. And we've got some big things, like I said, kind of planned that I can't really speak about yet, because I'm one of those people, like, what is it? Get it done and then announce, not plan beforehand, because then something happens and then you look like a big fat liar.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I don't have a date yet for what we're going, but I know, like I said, we haven't been invited out as a band to do a Colorado show. Actually 2 that I know of off the top of my head. We're just waiting on dates and kind of contracts on that. And then we have some stuff hopefully leading up to that will be planned, but I'm assuming that's probably going to be towards the fall. But like I said, keep listening, and we always have music coming out. Please go to my website. It's www.pamelahopkinsmusic.com. If you like the Givin' a Damn Don't Go of My outfit, there's lots of merch on there that you can buy, hats and tumblers and shirts, sport it all, and bags. You can even get a bag. So Givin' a Damn Don't Go of My outfit. That's how you support independent artists, mostly, is by buying their merch, because Spotify pays 0.002 cents per stream. So, I could have 1 million streams. It pays about $2,000.
Exactly.
And then I got to split it with my co-writers. So I don't really even make that. But that's kind of how you support independent artists is buy their CDs, which you can buy on my website. If you want the entire Givin' a Damn CD, I will autograph it for you and mail it right off to you. And you buy, I think, stickers and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So that's, if you want to support, you can also join my Pam fan club. There's a free one and there's a paid one. And with the paid one, you get a free CD with it. It's only $3 a month. So it's really cheap. Nice. You get the free CD. You get, I think, 20% off all merch. You get to know, there's lots of perks if you want to do the paid one for $3 a month. That's for the low price of a cup of coffee. No, I'm just
you can support an indie artist.
Right. Well, if you think about it, that's 10 cents a day it's a dime a day, basically, is what you would be paying me. $3 a month is not bad. It's $36 a year. And so I told him, I'm like, at that, it's you're looking at 10 cents a day, and that's less than a Starbucks coffee a month.
Absolutely.
A Starbucks is gone, and how long it take you to drink that? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you get nothing. See, with me, you get residual stuff.
That's right.
You could play that CD while you drink your Starbucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's I just tell you that's the best way to support an indie artist, so that we can keep creating for you, is to invest in our products, which, like I said, the CD is an 8-song CD. I think it's pretty good, but I'm a little biased. Obviously I put out my best work. And that's another reason I was going to say to do singles, because if you're always putting out singles, you're probably going to put out your best singles, out of all your writing. You're going to try to put out the best ones if you're doing the singles, and they compile them. So your CD or your album is going to have your best work for the year and a half. If you think about it, because think about how many CDs you have and you're like, well, that song's crap. And you skip to the next song.
Right. Exactly.
You go to their popular ones, and then you're like, why did they even stick that one on there? That's a filler. That sucked. Not Not all, but you know what I'm talking about. You listen to whole albums, you're like, why did they stick that song on there? That's horrible. It doesn't sound good, or it's that I don't like it. You just go forward. So buy the album. It's $15. I'll sign it for you, and that includes your shipping. And I'll send it right off to you. It's easy peasy. Just order it right on my website. Follow me on social media.